It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. As healthcare demand rises, many people are turning to alternative wellness solutions to maintain their health and well-being. IV therapy is something that's becoming very, very popular right here in West Bloomfield. And Civic Center TV's very own Kevin McIntosh took a look inside of Drip IV, a local IV therapy clinic, to learn more about how they're offering an alternative to traditional care.
With the growing demand of alternative wellness solutions to traditional medicine, businesses like Drip IV Therapy and Hydration is offering unique services to help people feel better, recover faster, and achieve overall well-being. Today, we're exploring these alternative trends right here in West Bloomfield.
So IV therapy and hydration is intravenous nutrition along with water. In addition to that, though, we have options for adding nutrition into it, and I help people figure out what's a good fit for them.
With urgent care visits increasing, IV therapy offers a faster, more accessible way to boost hydration, immunity, and recovery. Deanna Grove explains how Drip IV provides an alternative to traditional care.
We're actually housed between like 4 urgent cares, okay? There's going to be times where you need to go there. I mean, there just is. But on those times that you don't, and you know that you're dehydrated, you know that you need nutrition, this is an amazing alternative to the long wait times, to being around a lot of people that are sick, and it's a different vibe here, right? You get to sit in a comfortable, relaxing massage chair, just let all that goodness sink in from the IV bag, and there's no wait time, virtually no wait time here. Maybe 5 minutes if someone's ahead of you. But other than that, it is a great alternative to having to go to the emergency room.
Unlike traditional supplements, IV therapy delivers vitamins directly into the bloodstream for faster absorption. Deanna shares how this method maximizes health benefits.
Oral supplements, I definitely recommend them. You know, you really should take your vitamins, a good high quality vitamin. However, there's a process when you ingest something, just like food or water or vitamins. There's an entire process that goes down your system, starting with saliva and stomach and then liver, and then it gets to where it needs to be, which is where? The bloodstream. So we bypass all of that and go right to the bloodstream, which is why you leave here feeling amazing.
Since opening in West Bloomfield, Drip IV has been growing interest in its wellness services. We also discussed the community's response to this alternative health option.
Oh my goodness, the community has responded so well. You know, we have so many like family members, even husband and wives, couples that will come here on a monthly basis. We were actually just featured in the West Bloomfield City Lifestyle magazine. These are 2 of our favorite clients that come in, and they just spend family time together. This has been a great response, and we were very honored to be featured in the City Lifestyle magazine in West Bloomfield. This is Mark McManus, one of the owners, and it's a really great interview.
As alternative wellness solutions continue to grow in popularity, IV therapy is becoming a go-to for a quick and effective health boost. From West Bloomfield Township, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
For those interested in learning more about IV therapy and its benefits, you can visit Drip IV in West Bloomfield or check out their website, dripiv.com, or Facebook at Drip IV Official for more details. Big thank you to Kevin McIntosh for going out and getting that story. And if you are watching on Civic Center TV, you can see that Kevin himself, while he was there, had a Drip IV done. And he spoke very, very positively of the experience. I'm curious in trying it out myself. West Bloomfield Youth Assistant Youth Awards deadline is quickly approaching. Nominations are now open for the 2025 West Bloomfield Youth Assistants Youth Recognition Awards. This annual program honors outstanding students who have made a difference in their community, whether through volunteer work, overcoming personal challenges, or inspiring others in very unique ways. Eligible nominees must live in the West Bloomfield School District, the boundaries, or be a member of one of their schools in order to be nominated. Submissions can be completed online on their website at wbyouthassistance.org. The deadline to nominate is Wednesday, March 26th, 2025. Don't miss this chance to celebrate the incredible young change makers in this community. Can't wait to see what's to come from those nominations. Yesterday, the West Bloomfield Fire Department stopped by Chico Elementary School to spend the day with the students talking about fire safety. They learned how keeping your bedroom door closed keeps the smoke away from you if there is a fire. They also learned about smoke alarms, having a family escape plan, and why you should not play with fire, and much more. Some of the teachers even got to try on our fire gear so the students could learn about their protective equipment, and everyone had an absolute blast. Please remember to test your smoke alarms and make sure you clean the lint from your dryer and your vent. You can see the photos on our screen right now if you're watching on Civic Center TV, or you can check them out on their Facebook page at WB Fire Department to see all the fun fire department had firsthand helping out the students at Chico Elementary School. The West Bloomfield Fire Department is continuing their efforts to support firefighters all across the country, as the Michigan Firefighters Association and West Bloomfield Fire Chief Greg Flynn stopped by the office of Haley Stevens in Washington, D.C. last week to discuss a wide variety of topics. And here to tell us more about what he experienced in D.C., we have Fire Chief Greg Flynn with the West Bloomfield Fire Department joining us right now on The Splash. Greg, great to see you.
Jake, good to be with you.
Absolutely. Glad to have you with us. As always, really excited to be getting into this conversation. So let's just jump into it. What specific communications did the Michigan Firefighters Association highlight during this meeting with Representative Stevens?
Jake, the Michigan Association of Fire Chiefs had the opportunity to go in and have a real candid conversation with the Congresswoman about appropriations in the federal budget for the fire service, and really looking at how we fund the SAFER grants, which are opportunities for communities. Really, we're advocating for across Michigan, but you rightly framed that it also impacts the entire nation. But how our communities here in Michigan to increase their staffing of firefighters that can be in their engine houses, in their communities, ready to respond. We talked about the assistance to firefighter grants for equipment and getting appropriations for those, appropriations for the National Fire Academy and continuing the executive development and command development in fire investigator growth, all that happens at the National Fire Academy and the classes that they take on the road. So we spilled over into lithium-ion batteries and sprinkler systems and tax incentives for those builders that are putting these life-saving fire suppression systems in buildings and giving them incentives to do so, because we know all of these things, protection comes at a cost. And so we covered all of these, and Congresswoman Stevens, along with the rest of our 14 congressional reps in the state, were all eager to have a conversation with us, and we couldn't be more grateful.
Great. Glad to hear a lot of great conversations were to be had with Congresswoman Stevens. Lots of great topics to be getting into. How critical is federal investment in fire services sector for safety of both communities and firefighters themselves?
Well, the important thing to keep in mind is the fire service in general, and this is kind of a broad stroke, Jake, that just looking at how often people engage with the fire service. And honestly, in our community, very fortunately, this isn't a daily occurrence on the fire suppression side specifically. So funding for that, especially in our rural communities, can be very challenging. I think we've discussed on the show that a fire truck that used to cost, let's say, right around $450 to $500,000 pre-COVID, is now costing upwards of $800,000 to $900,000, almost $1 million for a standard engine pumper. So those types of things, those federal dollars can help these communities to offset some of that. And these are assets that are going to be 20, 25, 30-year assets. So we think it's a good investment in keeping all of our communities safe. And then those departments, as you've heard before, we network together with what we call mutual aid. And so we share those resources across community lines and, again, just create this fabric of safety, fire prevention across all of our communities.
Of course, and it sounds like a lot of the work that you guys are doing is not just to benefit the fire stations here in Michigan, but also to benefit fire stations all across the United States. And can you discuss some of the challenges that local firehouses are facing when it comes to maintaining or upgrading their equipment and infrastructure?
Sure. The technology that we use on the fire side and on our emergency medical services side is frequently going through upgrades and improving the services that we can render right there in someone's living room. So on the fire side, the real risk that we're looking at ensuring that we have the tools to mitigate are the stored energy fires, our lithium-ion batteries, our micro mobility devices like scooters and e-bikes and one-wheels. In addition to all of those power tools and things like that you're using the battery packs on, we discussed the need for legislation that there be some kind of standards through set forth in some legislation. You know, you can go online. Well, you can go to a Home Depot and buy your replacement Ryobi or Milwaukee battery pack, let's say, for $80 or $90. Well, you could also go online and probably find 2 or 3 batteries for half that price from somewhere else. But we know that the quality behind those batteries and the probability of them going into what we refer to as thermal runaway, where those individual cells within the battery pack begin to combust, that's a real threat. And so we want to make sure that we are being smart in advocating for legislation that'll keep us safe on that technology front. And that even goes big, Jake. That goes into right here in West Bloomfield with the Tesla location here on Orchard Lake Road, and then the increase in electric vehicles in our community. You know, your fire department's going to be responsible if that thermal runaway takes place, and so we want to be prepared for that. And just quickly on the EMS side, we're constantly reviewing the technology, whether it's on our electronic patient capture, so how we're documenting and capturing the care that we provide in the front room and on the roads and all the way up to the emergency room. And also our devices that are monitoring oxygen levels, which is something that's been around for decades. But now we're looking at other things that we can monitor, not just blood sugar, not just carbon monoxide and dioxide levels. So we're looking at the whole spectrum of things and how we can continue to provide quality care, and this is the important part, Jake, that impacts clinical outcomes. We want to make decisions that we're investing dollars that are going to get people back to that pre-injury or pre-medical emergency state before they called 911.
Wow, that is a lot of great resources and a lot of great things that could help benefit the entire West Bloomfield community. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have Fire Chief Greg Flynn with the West Bloomfield Fire Department talking about his recent trip to Washington, D.C., along with the Michigan Firefighters Association for their conversation with Representative Haley Stevens. And how does the support from leaders like Representative Stevens help bring attention to the needs of the first responders at the federal level?
Well, first of all, we know that the Congresswoman, along with all of our representatives across the state, are eager to help. But I will tell you that Congresswoman Stevens is a highlight of our visit to D.C. in the sense that she and her staff always make time she wants to meet with the fire chiefs, and so we're very appreciative of that. And she's always just so uplifting of our mission and what she can do to support that. And that's, I think, the takeaway that can be very challenging for all the advocacy groups that go either to the DC office or to the regional offices here in the state. Our congressional representatives are really, I believe, are trying to do the right thing with those federal dollars. And often it takes a minute. And while we might only get 25 or 30 minutes with them and we compress a lot of education in there, I think Representative Stevens, along with the other congressional reps, appreciate that time and appreciate that one-on-one so that they are making informed decisions and not just off of something on social media. And while those things can kind of heighten some awareness, really providing critical information that will support the legislation and really put our representatives on a firm platform when advocating for those dollars.
Of course, Representative Stevens is doing everything she can to make sure that every voice is heard. And it's important to have voices like you yourself, Greg, and the rest of the Michigan Firefighters Association to be speaking up on behalf of these firefighters. And how does the Michigan Firefighters Association work to ensure that the voices and the needs of firefighters are properly heard at the federal level?
Well, all of the advocacy groups in the state really do collaborate to ensure that the big mission critical items are being advocated for. This is I'm choosing my words carefully here because, I don't want to be involved necessarily with the politics, although it just inherently comes a bit with the position. But I do understand the intent behind some of the decisions that are being made here in our current events. And that's why it's incumbent upon myself, other chiefs, other advocates from the fire service to meet with our congressional representatives and ensure that they understand that these are real dollars going towards real technology, real people, real first responders that are creating critical outcomes in our communities. And I don't have a problem doing that. That is an easy thing for me to do when you look at the men and women of the WBFD 2 days in a row in the teens fighting fires in our community. They show up, they do their job well, and we continue to maintain a public safety readiness for additional stacked emergencies within our community with our mutual aid partners from Bloomfield Township and Waterford Regional and Southfield and Farmington Hills and all of our friends. So those are the types of things that the public safety professionals like the Michigan Association of Fire Chiefs and the Michigan Professional Firefighters Union and all these different groups, we need to educate, not have emotional arguments, but really educate on the outcomes that we have. And I think that's what's going to continue to deliver those federal dollars. And this is something that everybody can get behind and know that this is what good government looks like.
That sounds great to hear. Really appreciate everything that you're doing for the people of West Bloomfield. I got one more question for you, Greg, before we let you go. Moving forward, what can local communities do to support the efforts to secure more federal funding for fire services?
It's an easy one. When you run into Congresswoman Stevens and you're a resident of West Bloomfield or anybody within her congressional district, and you say, thank you. Thank you for meeting with Chief Flynn and the other chiefs. Thank you for listening to our first responders. And thank you for saying yes and supporting legislation that puts those first responders in the best position to create the best outcomes for our community. When the representative hears that that's what the people that elected her Senator to Washington, D.C., and they're giving her feedback, that they're happy with it and they know that their fire chiefs are showing up. And we represented all fire chiefs. Every fire chief in Michigan couldn't go to those meetings. So our voices were carrying the message of all fire chiefs in Michigan. And so those are the things that every citizen, every resident within those congressional districts can do with their representatives. And again, I underscore that. Thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for moving the mission forward on the public safety column. And of all of the many missions that they have, they do put that as a priority, and we're grateful.
Well, we thank Representative Stevens for looking out for the state of Michigan, and we thank you, Greg, for being such a powerful voice for the firefighters all across this state. And of course, we thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
You bet. All the best.
Lots of amazing things to come from this trip to D.C. as Greg Flynn being such a powerful voice for all of the firefighters here in Michigan. We thank him for that, and we once again thank him for his appearance here on The Splash today. West Bloomfield High School is giving their students an experience of a lifetime, as there's going to be an upcoming trip to Rome, Pompeii, and Athens over spring break of 2026. So a bit of a time away for that, but it's going to be a fantastic trip in store for the students of West Bloomfield High School, as this trip aims to expand students' growth mindset and global perspectives. And here to tell us more about this incredible opportunity for the West Bloomfield High School students, we have two of their teachers joining us right now on The Splash, Margaret Squires and Tara Ellert joining us right now. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Happy to have you with us. And I got to be honest, I am really jealous hearing about this incredible trip that these students are going to be taking. What inspired the proposal of this international trip for the West Bloomfield High School students?
You know, that is such a great question. So Margaret Squires and I are pretty passionate about traveling internationally. When I was 19, I went to Michigan State University and I did a study abroad in Italy, Rome, and I was there for 6 weeks and it completely changed my life. And Margaret does a lot of traveling as well, and we want to provide that opportunity to our students here at the high school to be able to experience other cultures and impact their lives for the better.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And this sounds like such a great opportunity for all these students. And I would imagine for the teachers as well. Margaret, you are an art teacher. Tara, you are an English teacher. How does this trip connect with the subjects that both of you teach, and what educational value can you see in it for the students? Margaret, we'll start with you.
Sure. Well, there's just so much culture to reach into when we're visiting those locations and looking at all the sculptures and all the places we're going to visit, and so many things to connect with our curriculum artistically. And I'm a big photographer, and I want to guide students to take pictures, and it's just incredible. I can't wait.
Tara, same question. What educational value do you see in this for your students and from the subject that you teach?
So as an English teacher, you know, we read a lot of literature that is very much based in history. And going to Athens, I teach a lot of Greek mythology. So I'm super excited about learning more about the goddess Athena and sharing that with my students and being able to bring that history back into the classroom and giving that information to all of my students when I teach about the Odyssey.
Of course, I can only imagine walking through these cities and seeing all of these great, incredible things up close. That can have such an impact on all of these students. And of course, there's going to be a little bit of effort to make sure that this trip is possible. Can you elaborate on the fundraising efforts and how families can get involved in helping to make this trip possible and more accessible?
I can take that. So EF Tours, our partner for travel, has a page that students can set up, and it works much like a GoFundMe. There is no money taken by EF Tours, and students can have friends and family deposit money. That's one way. There is also a scholarship that they can apply to through EF Tours, and we will be doing fundraising here at the school and reaching out to various community businesses to hopefully garner some support there as well, and perhaps a dinner at Chipotle, that kind of thing, where we could have a percentage donated to our fundraising efforts.
It's awesome to hear. Lots of incredible ways to help make this trip possible. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have art teacher Margaret Squires and English teacher Tara Ellert joining us right now on The Splash from West Bloomfield High School, talking about the planned spring break 2026 trip to Rome, Athens, and Pompeii. It's going to be such an incredible opportunity for the students. Of course, one of the things to keep in mind that parents might be thinking, having an international trip like this, it's going to be a little expensive, I would imagine. What advice do you have for students and families considering signing up for this trip, but are a little concerned about how much it's going to cost?
So I think it's important to think about the value of traveling internationally and the impact that this can have on our students as teenagers and how much they can learn from this. And I also think, like Margaret was saying about, we do have a lot of fundraising opportunities and some ideas. And just with the trip being a year away and spring break of 2026, that gives everybody a lot of time to really fundraise, reach out to the community, and ask for some help to be able to afford this trip.
Great. Hopefully that can put a lot of people's worries and concerns about financial situations at ease for managing this trip. And you just spoke about how you hope that the kids take away a lot of things from this experience. Beyond the classroom, what do you hope students gain from this experience, both personally and academically?
I think just being in another country and seeing how people from other countries are very similar and very different, and just seeing firsthand those perspectives is immeasurable for students.
I can imagine.
There's also this great opportunity when we are in Greece. We will have a one-on-one instruction to learn a Greek dance, which is something that we are really looking forward to. And it'll be a great opportunity for students to be able to immerse themselves in these cultures and realize that there's so much more beyond our classrooms and these four walls that we're, always in.
That sounds like so much fun. I'm sure the kids can't wait for this trip. I know it's not till next year, but there's so much to look forward to. I'm going to let you guys go. One more quick question, though. With this incredible trip being planned for 2026, does this open the doors for bigger and even more incredible international trips for the years to come?
Absolutely, yes. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Wednesday is our deadline for an early enrollment discount. So if families really want to go, it's good for them to enroll by Wednesday.
All right, you heard it. Enroll by Wednesday. Margaret, Tara, thank you so much for joining us today on The Splash and for hearing about this incredible trip with the West Bloomfield High School.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Absolutely. I mean, this trip sounds like so much fun. I went on some incredible trips when I was in high school, but never anything as extravagant and incredible as this. So those kids are going to have so much fun as we thank Tara and Margaret for their time here today. We're going to take a quick break here on the Splash Live. When we come back, we're going to get into some information on another great event coming up this weekend, the annual Black Expo event here in West Bloomfield. Lots of great things to uncover there. And we're going to get into it right after this. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. What people are watching in West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. And tomorrow, one of the biggest events here in West Bloomfield is making its grand return, the annual Black Expo event, which is going to be taking place at Orchard Mall. An incredible showcase of so many Black-owned businesses and vendors showcasing their goods, their services, and everything to the community and forming those all-important connections. One of the vendors that's going to be at tomorrow's event is Splash of Bold Creations, which is going to be offering such fantastic jewelry creations. Their owner and founder, Sylvia Neal, recently spoke with our very own Kevin McIntosh to talk about what's on display and to talk about her feelings on being involved with such a great event.
Here to tell us more about her business and the opportunity is the founder of Splash of Bold Creations, Sylvia Neal. Thank you for being here, Sylvia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. It's a pleasure. So first and foremost, just start off with the story and the inspiration behind Splash of Bold Creations.
Okay, so I started out under a different name. Actually, my original name was called Oshuntoday Creations. And the whole business started from a seminar that I went to regarding African beads back in the 90s. I went to a seminar to learn more about African beads, and at the end of the seminar, the gentleman leading everything asked if anyone was interested in learning how to make jewelry. I had never made jewelry before in my life, and I said, sure. Out of all the people that attended the seminar, I was the only one that stayed over. And I learned how to make jewelry, and as a matter of fact, he was a master beadsmith in Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
And he took me under his wing and showed me all the little tricks of the trade, and just gave me a lot of inspiration, gave me a lot of beads, just to get me started. And it started out as a hobby, and I still look at it as a hobby because it's something that I enjoy doing. And I do it in my spare time. I don't feel like I'm under a lot of pressure to do it. But over the years, my dad had gotten involved with doing open air shows with the canopies and all of that. And so it grew into much more than I had ever anticipated. Then one day I woke up and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. That was late 90s. And 2 years ago, I started again. I opened up some totes and found my beads and found all of my tools and stuff. And I said, you know what? Let me get back into this.
Let's go. Yeah.
And since then, it has become really a stress reliever for me. And so that's why I'm still doing it. But then when I started back up, I asked my daughter if I should keep the old name or if I should get a new name. And she was the one who actually came up with a Splash of Bold Creations. So here I am.
Okay, you brought it full circle right there. I like
Yes.
that. Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's evolution. That's going through changes and adapting and stuff like that. I'm not mad at it, and I love that story.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
providing
you.
that. So with that being said, like, there's a lot of different meanings behind African beads, I would assume, right? So can you just kind of break down maybe some of the meanings or significance behind some of these African beads, or what just makes this overall use of African beads different from other jewelry?
Well, now I don't just use African beads. I use, sometimes I use crystals, sometimes I use glass beads, sometimes I use lava beads. It just depends, and I don't restrict myself to one particular culture. I use beads from Italy, I use beads from Africa, I use from Czechoslovakia. I use them from all over. It doesn't matter to me where they come from. And I found that I have gravitated towards certain colors, but overall, beads have great significance, especially in the African culture. Some have, a lot of them have fertility powers, powers of just positivity and friendship and love. So it really depends on the type of bead that you get and from what country it comes from. It has different meanings.
Yes, I would imagine it's good high vibrational type of jewelry. Good energy, high energy. I love that overall. And thank you for also breaking it down. It's not just African beads. It's beads and stones from everywhere, glassware as well. So I love to hear that and see, that you are, branching off to different cultures and nations with their material as well. That's interesting to see. But I want to kind of go into the actual Black Expo now, right? Can you just talk about what it means to you to actually be a part of this event right here in West Bloomfield?
I think it's important because West Bloomfield especially is a very diverse city. And when I first did it a few years ago, I was really expecting just people who look like me to be there and people like me, that look like me to support my business. But what I've noticed, and when I do other shows, is that it's not just people who look like me, it's people from other diverse backgrounds that support me and buy from me. And so I think that I stand out because my jewelry looks different from every other jewelry maker that I have seen and, have worked around at other shows. And I'm just glad that people support me and believe in me and know that what the product that they're getting from me is an original product. I don't make two of anything that look exactly the same. You may see jewelry that have the same beads, but the arrangement is different. It might have a different pendant. So I'm glad that people support me and believe in what I do. So I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be a great feeling to see that, be a part of that, and just see that, it may be the Black Expo, but like you said, different people, different diversities and ethnic groups all coming together to support and to, to find out more and ask questions and network. And it's just a beautiful thing overall. I love to hear and see about it. Once again, join us right here live on The Splash is the founder of Splash of Bold Creations, who will be a vendor at the upcoming 2025 Black Expo, Sylvia Neal, talking about her own work, the story behind her brand, and participating in the Black Expo as well. Can you just kind of expound a little bit more on how you see events similar to Black Expo actually contributing to the success and visibility of Black-owned businesses in the greater West Bloomfield area?
The only other one or other two that I really see going on in West Bloomfield area, not necessarily West Bloomfield, but I participate in Waterford arts events, notably art sale, and also Oakland County Farmers Market is where art sale is held, but also Waterford community, what is it called? Community Center in Waterford, they also have events. It's not necessarily a Black Expo type of event, but it's just a general event that's nearby that I participate in as much as I can because you get good vibes, it's good people, good organizers that do all the right things to make sure that the vendors have what they need and they do good advertising, just like Black Expo. They do a great job at advertising, getting people in, getting good vendors. And so those are the type of events that I look for when I'm choosing, where I want to show my jewelry. It's really important.
Right. A place that essentially gives you a platform, like we said, to be visible in the community, for people to know that you exist and for you to present your unique goods that you have that, like you said, are one of a kind that you can't necessarily get from anywhere else. And I love that. With that being said, one of a kind, uniqueness, creativity, what role do you think art, creativity, and cultural craftsmanship plays in empowering communities and preserving heritage as well?
I think that it's really important because when people ask me about certain beads, I can tell them 99% of the time, especially if it's African beads, I can tell them kind of like the story behind it, what it means to me to put certain beads together. I think that color for me plays a big role because a lot of times I won't make jewelry. I've purchased beads years ago and have not used them yet because it just doesn't speak to me.
Right.
It doesn't work for me yet. So I'm patient when it comes to doing that type of thing as far as putting beads together and just letting people know what the beads mean and hopefully that they will embrace and look at the jewelry for the original quality that it has, for the uniqueness that it has.
Right, right. And that's good that they get that educational piece behind it with the knowledge that you have to share with that. I don't want to hold up too much more of your time, Sylvia. We appreciate you for being here. One key question I would love to know for you to share with our audience, as a matter of fact, any message that you would like to share for aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs who want to turn their passion into a business?
I think the most important thing is to never give up. And I never looked at myself as an artist. I have family members who make murals on buildings and draw and sell their art. And I'm not artsy like that. I've always been interested in different crafts and things like that, but never give up. Just try it. You may find your niche. And I didn't give up. I kept trying, and it's not easy. I'm not able to do a lot of the things that I used to do because making jewelry, especially with wire, it's hard on your hands, and working with small beads is hard on your eyes. But I still plug away because that's something that I love. Like I said before, it's a good stress reliever for me. And so whatever I can do to relieve stress, but also still bring joy to customers, past customers, they still support me, and new customers. Just keep plugging away. Don't give up. There's a lot of information out that can help you grow your business or grow your craft, grow your hobby, and just seek those things out. And just keep going. Just keep going. Don't let anyone discourage you. And you're your own worst critic. Remember that. But don't be critical of yourself. Just keep trying and know that you put in the hard work, it will pay off. That's my message.
I couldn't have said it better myself. As a matter of fact, I agree with that. Do all things in love. Hate is the only sin, if you ask me. Thank you so much for your time, your information.
Thank you.
Once again, founder of Splash of Bold Creations, a vendor at the 2025 Black Expo, Sylvia Neal. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you to Kevin for getting that story, and for Sylvia for stopping by and telling us about her incredible business. It's great to hear how her business has grown over the years, and I'm so happy she's going to have this opportunity to meet a much bigger audience here at the Black Expo on Saturday. Another great business that's going to be at the Black Expo are the Caring Smiles Family Dentistry. I recently had the chance to stop by their dentistry to hear about their business and what the Black Expo means to them.
Really excited to be involved with it. This is our third year doing it, and it celebrates a lot of the small Black-owned businesses in the area. And so we like to collaborate with a lot of businesses and have them, share their offerings and things that they are able to provide for the community with us. And then we like to do the same thing with them. We do a lot of collaborations on social media as well. So we're just happy to meet the community and hopefully meet some new potential patients as well. I remember one of the different community organizations reached out to us, and they were asking us if we wanted to become involved with it. And we jumped at the opportunity because we like doing different activities with the community. Anytime we have the opportunity to be involved with the community, that's something that we like to do. And so being able to do it for the third year now, we're really excited because every year the event has grown to more and more people and more and more businesses. And we love just meeting the businesses and seeing their journey. It inspires us, and hopefully we're able to inspire other people as well.
Why is it so important to be highlighting this diversity here in West Bloomfield?
I think it's just important because this being a diverse community, when we go into the schools and talk to a lot of the students, we want people to be able to see someone that looks like them and they say, oh, I can do that too. And so I think just having a different races and different backgrounds of people that are able to show the next generation that, if you really work hard, no matter where you're from or where your upbringing has been, you have that opportunity to succeed in whatever you want to do in life.
I love being a part of the Black Expo because I think it's a great way to expose people to our office, Caring Smiles Family Dentistry, because a lot of people don't get to see Black dentists. And I was fortunate enough, I grew up, my dentist was Black, and I actually saw myself being able to do that. And I think that it gives people who might be nervous about going to the dentist, seeing someone who looks like them, it makes you feel a little bit less nervous sometimes. Being a small business owner is a lot of work, it's a lot of time commitment, and it's really easy to isolate yourself. So it's really nice when you can take time to go out and meet other people who are doing the same thing and connect and share ideas, share different companies. People might be looking for someone to help with their website or anything that all small businesses can relate to. It's really nice building that community.
We just want to continue to collaborate and meet other businesses and just let them know that we're here in the West Bloomfield area. We've been here for a long time. We're excited. Our doors are always open. We have the ability in the future to hold events here at our office here, and we want to involve as many people from the community as well. So just making those connections with people and letting them know our doors is always open if they want to connect with us.
Those connections are very, very important, and Caring Smiles is going to be getting all the benefits from being a part of the Black Expo on Saturday. Of course, it's not just business owners and craftsmakers who are going to be at this event, as restaurant owners will also be at the Black Expo. One of those restaurants being House of Barbecue in Clawson, Michigan. And we have Collier Willis, their owner, joining us right now on The Splash to tell us more about his involvement. Collier, great to see you today.
Good to meet you guys. Hello. How are you?
I am great. Really interested in hearing about your business. I mean, just the name, House of Barbecue, that's making my mouth water just at the sound of it. How does it feel to be involved in this year's event?
Well, I've been doing it for the past 3 years now, and I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting the people. I enjoy serving my food, the smiles that it put on people's faces, and the recognition that I get from it really, really helps.
Absolutely. And with your business being out in Clawson and making all of these connections out here in West Bloomfield, what does that mean to you to be reaching out to people all across southeastern Michigan?
Well, it really means a lot. We are in tough times right now, as we all are, coming off of COVID and stuff, and a new president, praying that, everything picks up. Everybody's in a scarce time. It's very, very hard on our business, but we've been struggling, pushing through, Gotta have faith, I built this all on my back. It's been a journey. I enjoy what I do.
Oh, looks like we might have a screen froze. Oh, we're all set. Sorry, it looks like you were frozen for a split second there, Collier. You can just continue with your response.
Yeah, we are in Clawson. We definitely enjoy doing this every year. My food shows my dedication to the people. This is what I do. I really love it, and I love bringing my dishes to the people. That's what I'm here for.
That's right. That's what it's all about, and that passion goes a long way. And where does this love for barbecue and this love for making food come from, Collier?
It started with my grandfather and my mother. My grandfather, he was paralyzed, and he was a Vietnam vet. And I used to wheel him in the kitchen and thought we were playing around. I didn't know that we were cooking dish, and the first dish I ever made was a pot roast. And when he called me in after we had put all the seasoning stuff in and put it in the oven, he had me serve it to the family. And the looks on their faces, I couldn't believe that we had did that. So as I grew up and got older, I would bring different cuts from butchers to home, and he would show me how to cook everything. And then my dad, he was a hunter, So he processed food on the east side of Detroit in our basement. I mean, from deer to raccoons to rabbits and stuff. And then he would cook that. So my dad was like the wild game guy and the barbecue guy. And my mother was the baker. She went off recipes a lot. She's from Texas. My father's actually from Tupelo, Mississippi. And but he migrated up here when all the plant worker was going. But he was a carpenter. And yeah, I started out working in plants and stuff, and it just wasn't for me. And then I found the restaurant industry, and it just like I excelled and I enjoyed what I was doing. And yeah, and it's been a long journey, seriously. And now I'm doing it for myself. That's the main thing. Like anybody can do this. Coming from where I came from, I grew up in a neighborhood where everybody was doing bad, and to make it out of there, people were like, they look up to me, seriously.
Wow, and it sounds like that everything has been going so well for you, and it's great to hear that it's like these southern barbecue roots that have made their way up here to the Metro Detroit area. That's got to make the food sound amazing. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have Collier Willis, the owner of House of Barbecue, who's going to be at the Black Expo event tomorrow here in West Bloomfield. And what does it mean for you, Collier, to be making these connections with other business owners here in West Bloomfield and bonding over your experience at the Black Expo?
As I said, every year I meet new and inspiring people, and to see people just like me who struggled and came through just like me, it really warms my heart, and it helps me push more. Never give up. Seriously. Through the trials and tribulations, you're going to have some success and you're going to have some failures. You got to accept them both, and you got to learn from them no matter what, and just keep pushing forward. I love meeting all new people, especially in different industries and stuff. It really shows me the connections, teaches me how to better my business.
That's right. Every little bit goes a long way to helping your business.
Yes.
Now, you've talked a little bit about some of the food that you do at the restaurant. Can you give us a little sneak peek of what we can expect from House of Barbecue at the event tomorrow?
Okay, so one of the fan favorites when I do the expo is the Jamaican jerk chicken. So I have to bring that every year, and the barbecue mac and cheese. Like that's always, if I don't show up with that, people would they would be highly upset. So I'll have that. I will probably bring a little smoked tofu for any vegans or vegetarians, because I do offer that at my restaurant, which is also gluten-free. I also have gluten-free options at the restaurant. Gluten-free mac and cheese, gluten-free cornbread. We have gluten-free, pretty much a lot of things that they have different options, vegans and halal. I also offer halal. And we also have seafood as well. So.
Wow, that is first of all, the food sounds amazing. Everyone is going to have a great time eating at the event. And I love hearing that you have all of these options and accommodations for people who might not, who have like allergies, or like you don't normally see a vegan, someone who's vegan go to a barbecue place. So it's good that you have vegan options and you have something for everyone. I won't hold up too much more of your time, Collier. I know you are very busy, but one more quick question before we let you go. Being a part of something like the Black Expo, what does this mean for the future of House of Barbecue? What do you see for the future for yourself?
I see us growing and opening other establishments. Mainly, it's definitely a journey, and this chapter of my life is like an open book. I'm constantly adding to the book. I see myself being a restaurateur for the rest of my life and spread my love all over the world.
Well, I cannot wait to see the next few chapters of this incredible book. Collier, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that whole interview was making me so hungry. Never host this show on an empty stomach. That's some advice for everyone watching right now, and some advice for Tyler and Kevin. But that is going to be so great to see. So many great things to expect at the Black Expo here in West Bloomfield. And we've got other great stories and events happening right here in the greater West Bloomfield community that we're going to get into right after this quick break. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. There is new leadership in the West Bloomfield Police Department. The West Bloomfield Police Department is celebrating 2 well-deserved promotions. After 19 years of dedicated service, Lieutenant Brian Tash is stepping into a new leadership role, while Sergeant Nick Foster, with over 5 years on the force, is also advancing as a sergeant. Both officers have contributed to multiple divisions within the department and are eager to continue to serve and protect the greater West Bloomfield community. Their commitment to West Bloomfield has not gone unnoticed, and their leadership will be instrumental in the department's future. You can give your congratulations to Lieutenant Tash and Sergeant Foster on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. Big congratulations to both of the officers. Big honors are also in store for West Bloomfield High School students. Congratulations to the West Bloomfield High School students who competed in the Michigan Interscholastic Forensic Association state competition and earned second place in the Studio Productions Division 1. MIFA is a statewide nonprofit organization which organizes speech, debate, and theater competitions for middle school and high school students. Under the direction of Christine Stevens, these talented students showcase their dedication and creativity. You can see the photos of their success on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools and give them a congratulations as well. The Winter Reading Challenge is nearing the finish line here in West Bloomfield. Time is running out for the Winter Challenge, which the program ending today. Readers are encouraged to keep turning those pages over midwinter break to reach their reward goals. So far, the community has read an incredible 522,981 minutes, an increase of nearly 200,000 minutes from last month. If you've been tracking your reading, make sure you submit your final minutes before the deadline. And don't forget, rewards will be available for pickup until next Friday, February 28th. Keep up with the West Bloomfield Township Public Library on their Facebook at West Bloom LIB. That is going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Lots of exciting and great things to come up here in Greater West Bloomfield. I want to say a big thank you to our guests, to Kevin McIntosh, and for everyone on the team for going out and getting stories. I've been Jake Schaff. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.